Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Running Temple podcast. I hope you all enjoyed last week's episode. It was really great to have, Connor on to discuss his running journey and how his focus is on targeting that elusive sub 3 marathon. Now, on today's episode, I'm going to be discussing the run-in to my marathon. And where I'm at currently, 1 week away from the big day. So yeah, as previously mentioned, we're officially a week away now from the Chester Marathon. The nerves have definitely started to creep in now. And I think the week before the marathon for me is always the time when I actually realise that, I'm doing a marathon. That, the race is only days away. It's a scary feeling because, when you're training, you feel as though you've got so much time on your hands, honestly, and then, you just go about your daily life just as normal, but then all of a sudden those 8, 10, 12 weeks, or however long you've been training for, have passed by rapidly, and it just hits you like a ton of bricks, that you're racing a marathon. Then for the next few days, all I feel is dread. And, I think to myself, why on earth did I sign up to race 26.2 miles? Each day is just full of nerves, trying to find excuses not to do it. But ultimately, the biggest reward of the marathon is the sense of achievement, really, and that post-race feeling. And that's really what just, gets me through the final week. The constant reminder that I'll be over the moon when it's all over, and that I'll be so thankful, that I trained well and I stayed disciplined too as well. I think is a good thing, really. So how am I feeling? And do I feel ready? Currently, I'll be honest, it's mixed emotions. I feel really nervous because, for one, it's a marathon. It's a big distance, and two, the last marathon I didn't go as I'd have hoped. But this time, I'm not running that. I'm trying to get a 5-minute PB at 2:40 pace, and, it won't be, hopefully, 30 degrees outside. But I'm slowing things down, as the goal is just to get under 2 hours 52 minutes. So it actually gives me quite a lot of confidence for this race. As I know that I won't be exerting my body as much, as I have done previously. But honestly, I'd be very, very surprised if, anyone ever feels 100% ready for a marathon. Because there's just always those doubts, in our minds, which tells us really that, we haven't done enough training and, you just can't run those times. But honestly, we have to trust our training. We put all in this hard work and, all the miles each week. So, we will be able to achieve the goals. But at this moment in time, I do feel as though I am ready, mentally focused. I've stayed disciplined, throughout this training block. Motivation has been high and it still remains high, which I'm really pleased. And yeah, I know what my body is capable of, so it does give me great confidence. I have put in some high mileage weeks, peaking at nearly 90 miles, which it's a lot of running, but, my body's actually reacted well to it and I felt great throughout and I just went with the flow, really. I've never ever hit that mileage for a week, but I just took it in my stride, really, and I actually enjoyed it. But most weeks have honestly been 50 to 60 miles with a few 80 to 90 mile weeks. And then, the last week is just a significantly lower week. The consistency for this block has actually been something that I'm really proud of. I've stayed quite regimented and disciplined, and I'm hoping that, I can reap the rewards on Sunday. So, what will the final week of marathon training look like? Well, I'll start the week with a steady 5-mile run. I'll keep it at a light pace. Then Tuesday will be a comfortable run, so just a 10k. But when I hit my last week of training before marathon, I always have to run each day. Mentally, it's good for me. I like to just keep my body ticking over, and also I think if I don't start running, I start doubt myself even more then, and my confidence levels just drop for the marathon. But it genuinely does benefit me by running each day, throughout the last week, as I do feel a lot better for myself come race day. However, it's nothing strenuous, so my runs are all easy, all light, and so there's less chance of injury, and I'm giving my body the ability to save my energy basically for race day. So Wednesday will be another 5-mile run, so will Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday will just be 5k runs. So, I'm still running a few days before, but the distance it's a lot lower and it's a lot easier. Now, my nutrition, throughout the week, I'll be exceptionally strict. I'll start each day off with my smoothie or toast. Then my lunch will be avocado on toast or banana on toast, which is followed by a protein bar and a protein shake. Then for my tea, I'll have plenty of pasta throughout the week. Lots of sweet potato, lots of chicken, lots of rice, and lots of vegetables. Then after my tea, I will finish the day with a big bowl of fruit. So it includes a lot of frozen fruit, such as blueberries, mango, and then I'll have some melon as well. And I just love these bowls. But I basically live off them. But it fills me right up, and I feel as though it brings my calorie total for the day to a great position, which is around 2,800 to 3,000 calories. But ultimately, this marathon is to try and achieve a time which allows me to apply for the London Marathon 2026. So I will need to run under 2 hours 52 minutes to qualify for my age category, but I am aiming for under 2 hours and 50 minutes just to be on the safe side. And after April's failed attempt at 2 hour 40 marathon, it means I have to try and qualify again to have another go, but it's actually giving me more motivation, and I think that's why I've actually been so focused. But I always expect the unexpected for marathons. They're absolute beasts, and you just never know what will happen on the day. It could be torrential rain, it could be 30 degrees. I may even have a terrible sleep the night before, but I may even feel a slight injury as well whilst I'm running. The reality is anything can happen. So, you've just got to be prepared for it and face it head on, really. But one thing I can guarantee is that I'll give it my all and, try my best. And honestly, that's all I can ever ask of myself, really. But I'm in a good position, and I'm looking forward to it. But another motivation to achieve my goal is that Everton actually play at 2 o'clock against Palace. I'm actually at home, so I want to make it to the match on time. But yeah, it's just a little extra motivation for me, shall we say? But it's going to be my 6th marathon now, and I've certainly learned a lot since the first one I did. God, that was 2 years ago. But that's what it's all about. You take different aspects from each one, and you make sure you learn from them. To make sure the next one you do, you feel more prepared and more experienced. So, I think that's a good place to wrap up this episode 12 now. Thank you once again for tuning in to another episode of the Running Tempo podcast. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I will see you all next week. And it's a guest episode, so yeah, save the date and put a little reminder in your calendars for another Running Temple episode upload. I hope you're enjoying these episodes each week. I actually really enjoy them. Just putting the content out, for everyone. I love talking about running. If you see me, I'm always talking about running, or I'm either running. So yeah, it's amazing, really. I just love it. Love talking to people about running, and yeah, trying to just inspire people to get out and just do it. You never know what you can achieve. Anything's possible, and I think it's that, if you're seeing yourself progress, it's honestly amazing. And running's been one of the best things that I've ever done. I'm so grateful that I've done it. And yeah, I just love talking to people about it, really, and just trying to spread the enjoyment. But yeah, no, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time.